Hi friends, we are going to learn about classification of lipids. So the lipids are mainly classified into three: simple lipids, complex lipids or conjugated lipids, and the third one is derived lipids. First, simple lipids. Actually, simple lipids are esters of fatty acids with an alcohol. As you know, an ester is formed when an acid reacts with an alcohol. This alcohol may be monohydroxy alcohol or polyhydroxy alcohol. Monohydroxy alcohol, example acetyl alcohol in the case of waxes. Wax is also a simple lipid. It consists of an alcohol, acetyl alcohol. And polyhydroxy alcohol example is glycerol. In fats and oils we can see that glycerol as an alcohol. So this alcohol group may be monohydroxy alcohol like acetyl alcohol in waxes or polyhydroxy alcohol like glycerol in fats and oils. So simple lipids, examples fats, oils and waxes. These are simple lipids. So first about the fats and oils. Fats and oils are esters of fatty acid with glycerol. You know, glycerol is a trihydroxylic alcohol. This is the structure of glycerol or glycerin. Here you can see it consists of 1, 2, 3 hydroxyl groups. Okay, so trihydroxylic alcohol. So this, as it contains 3 hydroxyl groups, it can able to esterify with the 3 fatty acids. So a curved structure, that is fatty acid. So this it consists of 3 hydroxyl groups. Here you can see 3 hydroxyl groups ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് 3 fatty acid ആയിട്ട് ചേർന്ന് 3 ester bond form ചെയ്ത് 3 fatty acid ആയിട്ട് join ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു. So this is the structure of fats and oils. So glycerol is a trihydroxylic alcohol. It can esterify with 3 fatty acids. So they are defined as triglycerides of fatty acid. So in a triglyceride, this is a triglyceride or simple lipid. In this case, the 3 fatty acids are esterified with a single alcohol. And the 3 fatty acids may be of same type or different type. So these 3 fatty acids are, if these 3 fatty acids are same type, they are known as simple triglycerides. If these 3 fatty acids are present in this triglyceride that are different, so they are known as mixed triglycerides. So one molecule of lipid is formed by the condensation of one molecule of glycerol and 1 molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acids by ester bond. Here you can see 3 ester bond, 1, 2, 3. So next simple lipids that are waxes. Actually waxes are esters of long chain fatty acids with the monohydroxy alcohol. Monohydroxy alcohol, example acetyl alcohol in the case of waxes. So these waxes are insoluble in water due to the weakly polar nature of that ester groups. They are insoluble in water. And another important characteristics of these waxes that is these waxes are not digested by lipase enzyme. So these waxes have no nutritive value. As you know, the lipids are first digested by lipase enzyme. Lipid is a macromolecule. So it can be digested and absorbed by the action of lipase. അല്ലേ, ഇതാദ്യം ഈ ലിപ്പിഡ് മോളിക്യൂൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന മാക്രോ മോളിക്യൂൾ അത് ബ്രേക്ക് ഡൗൺ ആയി മൈക്രോ മോളിക്യൂൾസ് ആവണം. സോ ഫസ്റ്റ് ദിസ് ലിപ്പിഡ് മോളിക്യൂൾസ് ആർ break down by lipase enzyme. Then only the body can absorb it. But these waxes, they are not digested by lipase enzyme, so it has no nutritive value. The wax is very hard when cold, but it becomes soft and pliable when warm. It's another character. And these waxes have high melting point. They serve as a protective covering to plants and animals. Plants in the case, animals in the case, the protective covering act ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. Landil it prevents desiccation. Desiccation means extreme dryness. Extreme dryness il ninnu prevent ചെയ്യും. അതുപോലെ aquatic organismത്തിലാണെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ wetting il ninnu prevent ചെയ്യും. So these waxes serve as a protective covering to plants and animals. It prevents desiccation or extreme dryness on land and wetting in aquatic organisms. And we know these 3 molecule of fatty acids combines with an alcohol group, then we will get a simple lipid, that you know. So what about these fatty acids? No, we have discussed the structure of glycerol. So the fatty acids, they are long straight chain hydrocarbons, with a terminal carboxylic group. Fatty acids, they are long straight hydrocarbon chains with a terminal carboxyl group. This hydrocarbon chain is non-polar, so which forms the hydrophobic tail and gives the greasy texture to fats. ഈ ഫാറ്റിന് ഗ്രീസി ടെക്സ്ചർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു ഹൈഡ്രോഫോബിക് നേച്ചർ കൊടുക്കാൻ കാരണം ഈ ഹൈഡ്രോകാർബൺ ചെയിനാണ്. സോ ദിസ് ഹൈഡ്രോകാർബൺ ചെയിൻ ഈസ് നോൺ പോളാർ. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വൈ ദീസ് ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ്സ് ദാറ്റ് ആർ hydrophobic or they are not soluble in water. So this hydrocarbon chain, this hydrophobic tail, that gives the greasy texture to fats. And this fatty acids that usually contains even number of carbon atoms because they are synthesized by the addition of 2 carbon acetyl units. ഈ ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ് സിന്തസൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എപ്പോഴും 2 കാർബൺ, ഓരോ അസറ്റൈൽ യൂണിറ്റ്, ഒരു അസറ്റൈൽ യൂണിറ്റിന് 2 കാർബൺസ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ രണ്ടെണ്ണം ഇത് ആഡ് ചെയ്താണ് ഈ ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ് സിന്തസൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് always these fatty acids contains even number of carbon atoms, and these carbon atoms in a fatty acids are numbered from carboxylic കാർബൺ ആറ്റം ഓൺവേഡ്സ്. നമ്മൾ ഈ കാർബോക്സിലിക് കാർബൺ ആറ്റത്തിൽ നിന്നായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ നമ്പറിങ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, 1 2 3 നമ്പർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്പേർഡ് ഫ്രം കാർബോക്സിലിക് കാർബൺ ആറ്റം. So this is the structure of a fatty acid, a long hydrocarbon chain. This is the hydrophobic part or hydrophobic tail, and this part gives that hydrophobic nature or greasy texture to this fatty acid as a terminal carboxyl group. The carbon atoms in a fatty acid numbered from this carboxylic carbon atom onwards, and this part is non-polar. And the fatty acids that are classified into different types. First, saturated fatty acid, and second is unsaturated fatty acid. So what do you mean by saturated fatty acids? Saturated fatty acids means if all the carbon atoms contains 2 hydrogen atoms each and there is no double bond between the carbon atoms, the fatty acid is said to be saturated. So you just look on this diagram. All the carbon atoms contains 2 hydrogen atoms. Then here onwards all the carbon atom contain 2 hydrogen atoms and there is no double bond between the carbon atoms. So this is the structure of saturated fatty acid. Then what is unsaturated fatty acid? A fatty acid is said to be unsaturated if there is a shortage of hydrogen atom on the carbon atom and there is double bond between the carbon atoms. So you just look on this diagram. So this is the structure of unsaturated fatty acid. So here you can see a shortage of hydrogen atom. That means here these 2 carbon atoms do not contains 2 hydrogen atom, only 1 hydrogen atom each. So there is a double bond between the carbon atom. So this is the structure of unsaturated fatty acid. In this case, all the carbon atoms are having 2 hydrogen atoms. There is no double bond between the carbon atom. This is saturated fatty acid, but in the case of unsaturated fatty acid, we can see a shortage of hydrogen atom. In these two carbon atoms, there is only one hydrogen atom. So there is a double bond between the carbon atom. So this is the structure of unsaturated fatty acids. So the saturated fatty acids, the saturated fatty acids are always solid in nature, but unsaturated fatty acids are liquid in nature. Example of saturated fatty acid is dalda. You know dalda, നിങ്ങളുടെ കിച്ചണിലൊക്കെ ഉള്ള ഒരു ഇൻഗ്രീഡിയൻ്റ് ആണ്. ഈ ഡാൽഡ ഒരു സബ്സ്റ്റൻസ് ആണ്. ഈ ഡാൽഡ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സോളിഡാണ്. ഇതൊരിക്കലും നമ്മുടെ തന്നെ കിച്ചണിലുള്ള മറ്റൊരു സാധനമാണ് കോക്കനട്ട് ഓയിൽ. ദിസ് കോക്കനട്ട് ഓയിൽ ഈസ് ലിക്വിഡ് ഇൻ നേച്ചർ ബിക്കോസ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അൺസാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ്. ആൻഡ് സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ് ഈസ് സോളിഡ് ഇൻ നേച്ചർ. എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഡാൽഡ. അൺസാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഓയിൽ. കോക്കനട്ട് ഓയിൽ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത് ലിക്വിഡ് ഫോമിലാണ് ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഓൾ ആനിമൽ ഫാറ്റ്സ് ആർ സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ്. ആനിമൽ ഫാറ്റ്സ് എല്ലാം സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് ആണ്. ഓക്കെ, these are the differences between the saturated fatty acid. Here you can see the diagram of saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acids. And depending on the number of double bonds present in the unsaturated fatty acid, listen, depending on the number of double bonds present in unsaturated fatty acids, we are dividing the unsaturated fatty acids into two: mono unsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids. As you know, mono means one. Okay, so the number of double bonds, that is one. Polyunsaturated, many double bonds are present in polyunsaturated fatty acids. And again, these fatty acids are classified into essential fatty acids and non-essential fatty acids. Okay, man cannot synthesize certain fatty acids, but at the same time these fatty acids are essential for his normal life also. So these fatty acids should be supplied along with the diet. Such fatty acids are called essential fatty acids. So essential fatty acids cannot synthesize it in the body, but that should be needed for the normal life of a person, that are essential for the normal life of a person. So that those type of fatty acids should be supplied along with the diet. Example, linolenic acid, arachidonic acid, etc. The second is non-essential fatty acids. Non-essential fatty acids means certain fatty acids can be synthesized in our body from other fatty acids. Okay, these fatty acids need not be included in the diet. Diet not include cheyanaменന്നില്ല, because that are synthesized in our body from other fatty acids. So they are known as non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids. So the another classification of fatty acid is essential fatty acids and non-essential fatty acids. Whether it is based on whether it is synthesized in the body or whether it is synthesized or not in the body. Then the next, some triglycerides are solid in room temperature, that are fats. Some triglycerides are liquids in room temperature, that are oils. In the case of oils, which containing polyunsaturated fatty acids, so it undergoes auto-oxidation leading to rancidity on exposure to air and water. നമുക്കറിയാം, വെള്ളമോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എയറോ ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ട് കോണ്ടാക്റ്റ് വരുമ്പം ഈ ഓയിൽ നമ്മൾ കനച്ചു പോകാമെന്ന് പറയും. ഇത് ഓയിൽ ബാഡായി പോകും, നമുക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. ദറ്റ് ഈസ് റാൻസിഡിറ്റി. Auto-oxidation leading to rancidity on exposure to air and water. Because more unstable double bonds are present in it, which allow more oxygen to react at those points. ഒത്തിരി അൺസ്റ്റേബിൾ ഡബിൾ ബോൺസ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് അവിടെയെല്ലാം കൂടുതലായിട്ട് ഓക്സിജന് റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. And the next type of lipids, that is conjugated lipids or complex lipids. Simple lipids കഴിഞ്ഞു. The next is conjugated or complex lipids. So lipids having some groups in addition to fatty acids and alcohol, they are called complex lipids. These additional groups may be phosphorus, sulfur, or a protein, etc. Complex lipids includes phospholipids, glycolipids, lipoproteins, etc. So first is phospholipids. Phospholipids which contains phosphoric acid and nitrogen base in addition to fatty acid and glycerol. Phospholipids in addition to fatty acid and glycerol, phosphoric acid and nitrogen base are present. So in these compounds, glycerol is esterified with 2 molecules of fatty acids, and the third OH group of the glycerol is esterified to a phosphoric acid. In the case of simple lipids, the 3 OH groups of the glycerol are esterified with the 3 fatty acid molecule. Instead of this, phospholipid case, glycerol in the 2 hydroxyl groups esterified with the 2 molecules of fatty acid, and the third hydroxyl group is esterified to a phosphoric acid, and this phosphoric acid is again esterified to an amino alcohol like serine, threonine, choline, ethanolamine, etc. So that is the structure of this phospholipid. These phospholipids are amphipathic compounds because they contain both hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions within the same molecule. So listen, in phospholipids, phosphoric acid and head alcohol group forms the hydrophilic head, and the fatty acids forms the hydrophobic tail. So phospholipids in the case, alcohol group undu, adupole phosphoric acid undu, adupole thanne fatty acids undu. So these fatty acids form the hydrophobic tail. The other phosphoric acid and alcohol group that forms hydrophilic head. So these phospholipids form the main framework of the cell membrane. So next about the functions of the phospholipid. They form the main work of the main framework of the cell membrane. They play an important role in blood coagulation, and then phospholipids of myelin sheath form the insulation around the nerve fibers. So these are the 3 functions of the phospholipids. So about phospholipids, it contains nitrogen base and phosphoric acid in addition to fatty acid and glycerol. First 2 OH group of the glycerol is esterified to fatty acid molecule, and the third OH group is esterified to phosphoric acid, which is esterified to an amino alcohol. And these phospholipids are amphipathic compounds because they contain both hydrophilic head region that consists of a head alcohol and phosphoric acid, and hydrophobic tail region that consists of fatty acid molecule. Then based on the nature of the head alcohol group, the different types of phospholipids are present. This phospholipid shows variation in the nature of the head alcohol group. First is lecithin. Lecithin is a phospholipid that containing 2 molecules of fatty acids and 1 phosphoric acid molecule attached to a glycerol molecule. Head alcohol group is choline, that is attached to the phosphoric acid molecule. The function of the lecithin means it helps in the emulsification of fats and their absorption in the intestine. I hope you know emulsification. What do you mean by emulsification? A breakdown of large molecule of lipid or large lipid globules into small globules of lipids. ഒരു ലിപ്പൈസ് എൻസൈമിന് ലിപ്പിഡിൽ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ദിസ് ലാർജ് ലിപ്പിഡ് മോളിക്യൂൾ ഈസ് break down to small lipid molecules. That process is known as emulsification of fats. Then only its digestion and absorption will start in the intestine. That is emulsification. So lecithin helps in the emulsification of fat molecules. The next type of phospholipid, that is cephalins. Structurally the cephalin similar to this lecithin, but the head alcohol group choline of lecithin is replaced by ethanolamine in cephalins. So here you can see fatty acid molecule, glycerol molecule, phosphoric group, and this part only different in these 2 cases. In the case of lecithin, choline is present. In the case of cephalin, ethanolamine is present instead of choline. This is only the difference. choline of lecithin that is replaced by ethanolamine in cephalins. This is the only difference. And next sphingomyelin. It's also a type of phospholipid. Actually, it is found in the brain and spinal cord. It's abundant in the myelin sheath. So, they are known as sphingomyelins. Okay. It's a phospholipid that consists of 4 components: fatty acid, phosphoric acid, choline, and a long chain amino alcohol called sphingosine. So, here you just listen. Here in the case of sphingomyelins, glycerol is absent. So, another amino alcohol is present, that is sphingosine. So, fatty acids are esterified to this sphingosine, not with an alcohol glycerol. Glycerol എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആൽക്കഹോളുമായിട്ടല്ല. In the case of sphingomyelin, an amino alcohol sphingosine is present. So, fatty acids are esterified to this sphingosine. And phosphoric acid and choline is also present. See the diagram picture of this sphingomyelin. This is sphingomyelin. So, this is the structure of this sphingomyelins. Here you can see this red colored part, that is sphingosine unit. And the fatty acid is esterified to the sphingosine, phosphoric acid is present, and a choline unit is present. So, sphingomyelins, it is a phospholipid, consists of 4 components, and then fatty acid and phosphoric acid, and then choline, and a long alcohol group, amino alcohol, that is sphingosine. Okay. And the second type of complex lipids are glycolipids. So, first type of complex lipid, that phospholipids, that over. Phospholipid, 3 different types of phospholipids are also we discussed, that are lecithin, cephalins, and sphingomyelins. And the second type of conjugated lipids are glycolipids, lipids containing fatty acids, alcohol, and sugar molecules. As the name implies, glycolipids, glyco related with the sugar. Okay. So, in addition to fatty acid and alcohol, sugar molecules are also present, that are glycolipids. The alcohol is sphingosine group. Fatty acids are attached to this sphingosine. Sugar is also attached to this sphingosine. So, sugar molecules, maybe it is a glucose molecule, or it is an acetyl glucosamine, or uramic acid, whatever it is. ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു sugar molecule ആയിരിക്കും attach ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So, mainly these glycolipids are of 2 types, cerebrosides and gangliosides. The cerebrosides are the major component of the white matter of the brain. Gangliosides, that are abundant in ganglions and form major component of the plasma membrane. So, they functions as a specific membrane binding sites for hormones. Actually, membrane pala hormones in binding sites ആയിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഈ gangliosides function ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So, these are the structures of cerebroside. You can see a sugar molecule attached to this sphingosine part. And the third type of complex lipids, that are lipoproteins. As the name implies, lipoproteins, lipids plus proteins. Lipids associated with the proteins, that are lipoproteins. And this the lipid component is held to a protein molecule by non-covalent forces in lipoprotein molecule. പ്രോട്ടീനും ലിപ്പിഡുമായിട്ടാണ് ഇവിടെ കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അത് നോൺ കോവാലൻറ്റ് ഫോഴ്സസ് വഴിയായിരിക്കും. ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ട്രാൻസ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം ഓഫ് മൈറ്റോകോൺട്രിയ contains large amount of lipoproteins. And the third type of lipid, that is derived lipids. So, we have discussed about this simple lipids and conjugated lipids or complex lipids. Simple lipids are the fats, oils and waxes. Complex lipids are the phospholipids, glycolipids, lipoproteins. And the last type of lipid, that is derived lipids. Derived lipids are hydrolyzed products of simple and complex lipids. That includes glycerol, fatty acids, steroids, ketones, etc. Steroids, these are lipids possessing a ring structure 1,2-cyclo pentanoperhydrophenandrine ring. ഇനി ഈ സ്റ്റിറോയിഡ്സിനകത്ത് സ്റ്റിറോയിഡ്സ് possessing OH groups that are known as sterols. These are solid crystalline alcohols and these sterols are found in animal and plant oils. The sterols, based on the origin, the sterols are classified into 3. Zoo sterols. Zoo അല്ലേ, നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം ആനിമൽസുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. So zoo sterols that are found in animals. Example, cholesterol. And the second is phytosterols. Phyto means plants. So these are found in plants. Example, stigmasterols. And the third one is mycosterols, found in yeast and fungi. Example, ergosterol. And the next example of these derived lipids are cholesterol. Actually, it is a white crystalline solid alcohol found in animals. It's an important constituent of cell membrane. It is complexed with the proteins forming lipoprotein complexes. Cholesterol, it is the raw material of the synthesis of various steroid hormones. Steroid hormones are synthesized by the endocrine glands such as adrenal cortex, testes, ovary, placenta, etc. നമുക്കറിയാം സ്റ്റിറോയിഡ് ഹോർമോൺസിൻ്റെ എക്സാമ്പിളാണ് നമ്മുടെ ടെസ്റ്റോസ്റ്റിറോൺ, ഇതെല്ലാം ഓവറിയുടെ ഹോർമോൺസായ പ്രൊജസ്റ്റിറോൺ, ഈസ്ട്രോജൻ, ഓൾ ആർ steroid hormones. Okay, thank you.